Hi, welcome back to At the Dot Design, or if you're new here, hello, welcome for the first time. Quick question for you. When was the last time you made art purely for the joy of it? Not for a client, not for Instagram, not even to sharpen up or develop new skills. You just made some art to make it, just because it felt good. If it has been a while, this video is for you. So what are some reasons that we stop making art for joy? I know for me, I start worrying about monetizing things. Every piece of art I make should be saleable. I make artwork that's purely for an algorithm. Or I make what other people think I should make, or what I think they will like. And sometimes we just stop making art for joy because we just don't feel like we have the time. So today, I want to give you some permission to play and remind you that you don't have to earn your creativity with productivity. I want to remind you that every joyful mark is valid, even if no one sees it. I know so many artists, myself included, who get caught up in making art for something, whether it's a product, a paycheck, an algorithm, or an audience. And I just want to say that that is not a bad thing. It is amazing when our art is able to support us financially. But here's the thing. If you forget to make art just for you, you can lose that spark that made you want to do this in the first place. So today, I want to give you one gentle mindset shift, a couple of silly creative prompts, and I just want to give you a reminder that you are allowed to make art for joy. So here's the mindset shift. Play is not a break from your creative practice. It is your creative practice. Your sketchbook scribbles, your half-done block prints, your messy experiments, those are not wasted. They actually feed your real work. They make you braver. They make you more curious, and they make you, you. One of my favorite things that I made recently is this silly little fly notepad. I have no intention to monetize this thing. I made it during a printmaking class that I took in real life, which was amazing. And I printed this with craft foam, and then I turned it into a risograph print and made it into a notepad. I made this with no pressure, with nobody watching, and I loved every second of it. If you are feeling burnt out or stuck or worried about what your art should be doing for you, this is your permission slip to make something that doesn't have to prove anything. So let's do it together. Grab a piece of scrap paper, a pen, your favorite markers, anything you've got. And here are a few quick prompts to get you going. You could draw with your non-dominant hand, and you could pick anything around you, your coffee cup, your favorite art supplies, something outside your window, whatever you want, but try drawing it with your non-dominant hand. Or you could try making a silly repeat pattern. Draw one doodle and then draw another and see where it goes, fill the entire page and see what your pattern looks like at the end. Or you could make random scribbles with a marker or a colored pencil, then find some shapes in that scribble and outline them. Think of it like cloud watching for scribbles. I am going to do one too, along with you. I'm going to choose the cloud watching idea because that's what I'm feeling like. And we're going to do this all together. Feel free to hit pause and we'll make something together for 5 or 10 minutes. There is no right or wrong way to do this. This is completely about play. Okay, so I am going to kind of talk through what I'm thinking about as I am doing this drawing for joy. And if you don't want to hear my thoughts and my process, then jump ahead to minute 8 and you'll see how it all ends up. But if you do want to follow along, again, you could get your tools out and start drawing. And so I'm going to start drawing lots of little blobs with my markers. And I am left-handed, but sometimes I'm gonna just test out drawing with my right hand just to see what comes out. I'm just gonna pick up colors at random and just kind of keep adding until I have as many blobs as I feel like I want to create with. And I just want to take a second to acknowledge that if you haven't created art for joy in a long time, this could feel uncomfortable. It could feel really difficult. And I want to encourage you to kind of push through those feelings. The next step I'm going to take is I'm going to start looking at these blobs and seeing what I see. For me, a lot of these blobs are going to turn into little birds, and that's because one of my kind of go-to things to draw when I don't know what to draw are animals. And most recently, birds have been the thing that I kind of turn to when I'm feeling stuck. I just want to take a little second and acknowledge the note there in the top left that says, "Keep going, making art is always worthwhile." And that was made by my artist friend Leslie, and I'll put her Instagram handle up on the screen if you want to follow her. She makes really cool artwork, and I love having this little message beside me as I work through this exercise. So you can see I have started to draw lots of different birds, and the one with the brown blob, I even write, "What is this?" And that's because I start drawing, and to be honest, it completely falls apart, and I feel really uncomfortable about it. I feel embarrassed about it. And a lot of the time when that happens to me, I will put these kind of notes in my sketchbook just to acknowledge those feelings. It also helps me to go back and I can look at how things went a few months from now. And maybe I'll look at it then and I'll think, oh, that wasn't so bad. Or I'll think, yeah, I was absolutely right. But I do like to put those little notes about how I feel in my sketchbook, because otherwise those feelings are kind of lost. And I can't really remember, a couple of months, a year down the road, how I felt about the whole piece. I'm at the point now where I'm finally at the last blob. And again, you can see that I started to feel a little bit uncomfortable and I didn't really know what I was going to do. So I had been doing all birds. I felt this kind of need to make every blob into a bird, and yet I was struggling. I was really having a hard time. So the light gray blob turned into a poodle. The green blob is a caterpillar. And I just kind of had to let go of the idea that everything had to be what I thought it was going to be. And that's okay. So I just wanted you to hear kind of my thought process as I worked through these. Okay, so how did that feel? I hope that these tiny few minutes reminded you that you are allowed to make artwork that no one ever sees. You are allowed to be messy, to be playful, to be pointless. But remember, none of this is really pointless. It's fuel for everything else you make. If you liked this little pep talk, I would love it if you subscribed. I will be sharing more videos about my artist quest because I hate the word journey. I'll be sharing my surface pattern design and how to find flow in your creative work. And be sure to tell me in the comments, what did you draw? Did you discover something weird or fun? I would love to hear. And if you want more ideas like this, you can go down in the description and I have a download with lots of creative prompts to keep your creative juices flowing. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll see you next time, and remember to keep making art purely for joy.